Hi, my name is Kenzie Benoit. I'm 29 years old and I'm from San Antonio, Texas. I'm just an average person with above average work ethic. Nothing in my life has ever come easy. As a kid, I was hearing impaired with a bad speech impediment, and here I am. I'm a court reporter and I am so grateful that I never ever gave up. So today I want to talk to you about never giving up and encourage you to keep going. If you're already there, maybe this will still inspire you. But whatever the case may be, we all have obstacles in our life that we have to overcome. And today is the day to do that.
Today, I'm going to give you the secret sauce to becoming the best version of you. But before I do, I want to tell you a story that I'm sure can resonate with each of you. This story isn't about flying through school or winning a speed contest. This story is actually about psyching myself out from a really great opportunity. How many of you can relate? 3 years ago, I was in one of the most beautiful places in the world, Beaver Creek, Colorado. There was no lack of snow there. It dropped more than 10 inches overnight our first night there, which made the perfect snow blanket for us to get out and play in. If you can imagine Winter Wonderland, this was definitely it. I was so excited to ski for the first time, thinking that I would be just as good at it as I was skimboarding. All I needed was balance, right? So I chose to forego the ski lessons because there were only 2 of us in our group that had never skied before. She didn't want to take lessons, and I felt pretty confident that with enough balance and athleticism that I would be okay. But keeping in mind that I was still a beginner, I chose the less advanced course and stuck to the bunny slopes. I thought that if I stayed there, I wouldn't have a problem. When we got to the top and I looked down, I wasn't so sure that the bunny slopes was where we actually were. We must have been at what some members of my group were referring to as the Blacks or Diamond course. I was a little nervous, but I still was ready to take on the challenge of flying down that mountain, no Red Bull needed, to get my picture in the snow, never imagining how things would end up. When we got off the ski lift, I noticed that the other first-time skier in our group was a bit rattled and changed her "hell yes, I'm so ready to ski" to a hard no and no longer wanted to join us. Seeing her so rattled made me not only think twice about wanting to go down, but it also had my mind going a million different places. Maybe she saw something I didn't. Maybe there was a reason for her panic. 30 minutes later, I finally took the plunge, scared to death, and pizzaed about halfway down until almost hitting a tree head on. No exaggeration. I turned at the last minute, my whole body shifting to the side before crashing into a huge pile of snow, barely missing the tree. It would be putting things lightly to say that I was shook. At this point, I decided that enough was enough and that maybe I wasn't cut out for skiing. I sat on the ground, took off my skis with tears in my eyes as I watched 5 and 6-year-olds zoom past me. How could this be, I thought? They had the perfect posture, no fear, and were literally doing circles around all of the first-time adults skiing. Their fearlessness couldn't be matched by majority of the adults there. The next few minutes, I sat there watching the kids make it to the bottom of the mountain, somewhere I could only get by walking. I was amazed and thought that they were incredible, and the 26-year-old in me quickly wanted to know what they had that I didn't. I'd like to think of myself as a pretty athletic person, but there was no doubt something that went way beyond bending my knees and pizzaing in order to stop myself. If you don't know what pizzaing is, here's a quick visual to give you an idea. As I reflected, I realized that a few of those things included, but were not limited to, their fearless attitude and breathing deeply. Two of the key things that I missed from the get-go, things that we are born with. I replaced my desire and excitement to ski down that mountain with the fear and self-doubt that I saw others before me have, and I adopted their emotional and physical pain as I went down the slope, completely psyching myself out. How many of you watching this video have pizzaed your way through your life when something appeared too big, too steep, too hard, and invested in the thought that maybe you just aren't cut out for what it is you want, that maybe you're not good enough? How many of you have seen someone go before you struggle and thought that because they struggled that you would too? I know that I'm not alone in this. Borrowing someone else's worry and comparing yourself are two of the biggest thieves of success. One of the questions most often asked by people starting court reporting school to their mentors is, how long did it take you to finish school? I've really never liked that question because I truly think that there are so many factors. Why set yourself up in your mind at the beginning to be in school for 4 years when you have the work ethic and talent to finish in 2? Or why face the heartbreak of it taking you a little longer than your friend who finished in 2 years because life got in the way? We cut ourselves short daily by actually believing that we aren't good enough, which makes zero sense if you really think about it. When we arrive on Earth, we have the uncanny ability to think that we can do anything it is we want, shouting it out to the world that we want to be an astronaut, a doctor, or even a court reporter. We don't think about the amount of time we will spend in school, the amount of money it will cost to get through school, and we especially aren't taking other people's opinions into consideration. Because, let's face it, who is going to tell a 5-year-old that they can't be anything that they want to be? Imagine what our lives would be like if we carried that same mentality and thoughts around with us for the rest of our lives. Imagine if we put the worry and self-doubt on the back burner like we did when we were 5 or 6 years old. Today, I want to get you back to that mindset, but before I give you the secret sauce and tell you how to get back there, I want to tell you a little bit about myself.
So I've known that I wanted to be a court reporter since I was 10 years old. So basically when I was 10, I was a pro typist. I could type something like 120 words a minute. And so my friends, they would challenge me and make me get on AOL Instant Messenger. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with that, but I would ask people out for them on there. And so the goal was to ask someone faster than the next person, and since I was the fastest, that was always my job. Well, one day I was over there and my best friend's mom saw how fast that I was typing, and she told me that I should look into court reporting. So she took me to work with her, and I've really never looked back since. She told me that I would be interesting, kind of like a Lifetime movie, and I was sold. But knowing that you want to do something young doesn't make the journey any easier. To get here, I faced many different challenges, starting with hurricanes. If you're familiar with the Gulf Coast, or the Texas-Louisiana border specifically, you know that we've had our fair share of hurricanes. We had 2 major storms happen when I was in high school. One of them we evacuated to a town 4.5 hours away. Due to traffic, it took us over 16 hours to get there. After the storm hit and the damage was assessed, we realized that we might be there longer than we originally thought. So I was enrolled in high school there. As a new enrollee at the school, I met with the counselors so that they could determine what classes I should take. And we also talked about my future. I told them I wanted to be a court reporter. They didn't know much about it and instead tried to persuade me to become a dental hygienist. And let me tell you that while I do love going to the dentist, I knew I wasn't destined to become a dental hygienist. This became the common theme throughout the next few years of my life. People told me, technology will take over and you'll be out of a job. I don't think you have what it takes to do that. Are you ever going to finish school? Or my personal favorite from a friend, I did your tarot card reading and it said that you were not destined to do this. This is all laughable at this point, but to a teenager, I'm sure you can imagine that it was very discouraging. Why didn't these people believe in me? Why did they feel okay with pressing their opinions about my future on me? I started from the bottom, and now I'm here, and none of that matters at this point, because I'm sure you know by the mere fact that I'm here talking to you today that I didn't listen to any of this nonsense, and that's exactly what I believe it was. People who aren't brave enough or who don't know enough about what it is you're wanting to do will always try to talk you out of what you're doing. Don't let others' opinions consume you. Just because they're afraid to go after something really crazy, a big dream, doesn't mean that they should try to talk you out of yours. To put things in perspective, one of the people who tried to talk me out of this profession the most told me every single day that he hated his job. School was not easy for me, and neither was testing. I can imagine that many of you, while in school, or if you are currently still in school, balance more than just school. Maybe it's a job. Maybe it's kids. Maybe it's outside extracurricular activities. Trust me when I say that I get it. Working 3 jobs and putting myself through school at 17 years old was no easy task, and all my minimum wage money went to rent, groceries, paper for my machine, and gas, leaving me with enough money to sometimes not have to dig through the paper bin at school to collect someone's notes so that I could write on the back of them, making it super difficult when someone's ink was really dark or they pressed down on their keys as hard as I did. I say this not for sympathy. I say this because we all face our own personal obstacles, and I think it's important that you know that whatever you may be facing today matters. Your struggles may not make sense to you now, but through the hardships and not surrendering, you are finding your ultimate strengths. As you are all aware, we are in a reporter crisis because we don't have enough people getting certified and passing their state test. I know, I was one of them. Did I have the skills to sit for the test? Absolutely. I had less than 5 errors on my last test and was seriously close to passing some 240 word per minute dictation while still in school. At this point in my life, the noise was really loud after 2 failed attempts to pass the test. Would I surrender like everyone was asking? Or would I keep going, knowing that if I did, that I was going to have to drastically change some things, but mostly my mindset? I picked the latter and spent the next 3 months prepping for the next exam at all cost, driving 2 hours daily to school, doing harder and faster dictation, practicing daily mindfulness, and stating daily affirmations out loud, singing my fight song. It didn't matter who thought I wasn't good enough, who thought I was too late. I was going to keep fighting for my dream, and I did, all the way to Dallas. I totally dominated the next test given, and most of these practices I had put in place, I still use 6 years later. I went on to do freelance right out of school for 2 years, which included school board hearings, federal and civil grand jury, and arbitrations, before filing for divorce and traveling across the state of Texas for 6 weeks to try to land an officialship because, hey, I was about to turn 26 and needed health insurance. I was rejected many times, but ultimately landed my dream job here in San Antonio 4 years ago. I'll never forget my interview for this job, being asked if I wrote real time, and my answer. Afterwards, I learned that I was going up against some really great real-time writers. My judge later told me that she didn't overlook me for the job because I told her I was willing to try, and I'm so happy that I had a lot of mentors speak that faith and confidence in me to try. I've never looked back. I told you all of this because I think it's important for you to know where someone comes from, something that is commonly missed and rarely talked about by some of the great athletes, some of the smartest people in the world, or even some of the great reporters speaking today, is that we care to know a lot about how they got where they are when we aspire to be like them, but often don't know about the great challenges they faced to push them even harder, or setbacks they may have incurred that shaped who they are. I challenge you today to ask someone who you really admire what their greatest challenge was to get to the highest level. It may just surprise you. Now enough about me. I want to focus on you. So get your pens and pencils ready for the secret sauce that I believe will elevate you to your highest level. Number 1, recognize that you are special. While there are plenty of talented people out there, there is not a single person made exactly like you. You are unique. You have gifts and talents beyond your wildest dreams. Realize how special your thoughts are and what a blessing it is to be on the path you're on. While your uniqueness can sometimes feel like a burden, recognize that it's what sets you apart and makes you great. You are a big deal, and the universe is waiting on you to recognize that. Treat yourself like the special person that you are today and always, and realize that the world is a better place because you're in it. I want to share with you how simple it is and give you a real life example. Every single time we go to the grocery store, no matter the crowd, my significant other always says out loud, "I'm going to get front row parking. I can feel it. Front row parking is mine." When she did this at first, it caught me off guard, and I thought, why is she talking to herself? What a weirdo. Then I realized what she was doing. She was letting the universe know what was hers, which is what I'm asking you to do. of power in positive thinking. Our mind is one of the most powerful tools we have in our toolbox. The ability to program your mind into believing a concept sounds super complex, but it's not. Say this with me. I am energized and ready to slay the day. While this may feel like a complete lie when you've only gotten 2 hours of sleep the night before, staying up with a sick kid, or trying to meet a transcript deadline while having raccoon circles under your eyes, say it anyway. You are in control of your mind, feelings, and emotions. The more emotion you put into it, the more power it will have. It may feel a little weird saying these at first, but you will be pleasantly surprised at how much truth you're speaking into your life. Give it time. Everything that you desire is right in front of you. Number 3, manifest things you love that make you happy. Don't deny yourself of experiences such as places, things, people, food, because you only have $3 in your bank account. If you're constantly saying, I wish I could upgrade my machine to a machine that doesn't constantly stack, but you never actually do, figure out a way to make it happen. This can be done many ways and doesn't usually involve an upfront $5,000. There are sometimes payment plan options available, holiday discounts, and even competitive pricing. Check it out. My personal happiness is found in things that make my life easy. This week it was switching my dinosaur real-time setup to something much more efficient. It was an investment in my present happiness and my future happiness. Now, I know that the things that make you happy may not be that extreme. It could be as simple as coffee with a friend after work, or buying yourself a new blazer because you dried your favorite one because you didn't have time to take it to the cleaners. Take that trip. Do that thing on your bucket list. Make time for people you love. Give yourself the opportunity to be happy while you're still on this earth. Put your needs first. None of this is selfish. It's all part of your self-care. Number 4, find a different reaction. What if others around you could hear some of the horrible things you say to yourself? We are the worst at negative self-talk, and most of the time, the things that we are telling ourselves are so far from the truth. But in saying them over and over again, we start to believe them. I wish I were better at this. I hope I don't completely blow this. I should have been better prepared. Replace the negative self-talk with positivity. I am practicing and improving daily, and each day I get better. I have the skills it takes to get the job done. Preparation is my middle name. If I don't have it with me, I will pull it out of my Mary Poppins bag. All jokes aside, what do you think when you walk up to a group of successful people? Notice the things that run through your mind and adopt new thoughts. For example, if every time you get offered a good job, your first thought is, yikes, I'm going to have to turn that down. I'm not capable enough. Change it to, I'm so happy they asked me to cover this job. I cannot wait to take it. I will prep for this job and I will do well. If your response to forgetting something is, I knew I would forget that cable. I am so forgetful. Change it to, I need to add this to my daily checklist so that I don't forget again. Don't pin yourself down to things that aren't the truth. I don't care if you're all, that's easy for you to say, Kenzie. You haven't been asked to sit for a hearing involving 20 parties and $56 million your third month into reporting. Well, I have, and I was scared as hell, but I decided that I would succeed anyway. Sure, my initial reaction could have been to cry, or better yet, tell my firm that I couldn't do the job, but it was an opportunity for growth that I was not going to miss. Or one of my favorite stories. I was working in federal grand jury in my hometown. Where the proceedings were held wasn't the easiest to get to on heels, especially carrying a 50-plus pound bag with all my equipment. You got off the elevator and then had to take the stairs up to get to the final room, which I thought looked like a secret vault. I made it up fine, and I wish I could tell you that I made it down fine, but the fact that I didn't makes for a much better story. So I was walking down the steps, holding on for dear life with my left hand and trying to lug my heavy bag down with my right hand. Somewhere in the middle, I lost my balance and fell until I hit the bottom. Luckily, I didn't suffer any major injuries besides ripping my pants. When I got to the bottom, I hoped that I was the only one that saw that. Little did I know that I would be helped off the floor by a member of the FBI and Homeland Security. Those two guys never let me live it down the next few times I saw them. Sure, I could have called myself both stupid and clumsy, but what good would that have done? It had already happened. I'm telling you this because I don't want you to miss out. I don't want you to talk yourself out of that outfit. I don't want you to doubt your skills or to call yourself stupid. I don't want you to get embarrassed and then talk to yourself ugly because of it. I am are two of the most powerful words. Shape your reality by putting something really great after it, but start with, I am enough. Number 5, ditch the self-depreciating humor. I get it, trust me. It can be funny at times. I did it just yesterday, mocking my double chin and lack of sleep on the bus. It's okay to do it occasionally. I'm not talking to the people that do it every now and then. I think it's perfectly healthy to laugh at yourself from time to time. I'm talking to you if you are constantly making fun of yourself. Doing this and being okay with it is inviting others to do the same. Your words have power. So if your favorite joke is that, oh, I could never pull off that outfit, that's a good joke, then maybe you should come up with a new one-liner. Self-confidence is the best gift that you can own. Number 6, let love in all areas of your life. Accept compliments when people give them to you, instead of trying to convince the person giving you the compliment that you're not worthy of it. Try this instead. Thank you. Take care of yourself and your body. When we get busy, we often forget to do this. I've got an all-day case today. The attorneys probably won't break for lunch, so I'll have to starve. And then I'm going to have to cancel my gym class because I'll be too tired. How many of you have said something like that before?
How many times do you work out per week?
Well, my ultimate goal is 4 times, but if I get 2 times, I don't beat myself up. 3 times is what I usually normally end up working out, but if I can work out 4 times is really what I feel is best for me.
What do you think a benefit to working out before work is?
So I was working out at lunchtime. The problem with that was sometimes my lunch period was shortened and then I would skip the workout. Other times I just didn't really have enough energy to work out at lunchtime. But since I've been going in the morning before work, I don't know why, but I have more energy in the morning before I start my day. I get a better workout and it makes my whole day more productive. I can't explain it, but that sense of accomplishment that you've already accomplished what you really, really wanted to do, besides your body, just feels like I don't know, when you use your muscles and then the afterwards part of it, you kind of get a little adrenaline rush. It makes me more productive in everything I do. So it has been really, really great doing it in the morning, and I never have to miss it unless I just don't feel like getting up in the morning. But I don't get stuck with a short lunch period where I have to skip it altogether. So the mornings have been really beneficial, and I hope to keep doing it.
Stay in routine when you can. When life gets busy, make time for the things that are important. Sometimes things are out of your control, but sometimes you may have to rearrange your schedule, eating a bigger breakfast when you're not used to doing that, going to an earlier class at the gym because you know you'll be too tired after work. Don't overlook your health or taking care of yourself. Move, stretch, hydrate. You will be much more productive and happier. Don't put off focusing on your health and happiness because you're in the middle of a project and are busy. You can't pour from an empty tank. Feeding your brain and exercising are necessary to being a high performer. Did you know the statistic that the top 5% of high performers are 40% more likely to exercise 3 times per week, leaving them more energized mentally, emotionally, and physically than their peers? If you were going to get in the best shape of your life, what are the first 3 things you would stop doing? And what are things that you would start doing? Don't trade your health for success. Instead, incorporate good habits to help you reach your highest level. Number 7, don't compare yourself to others. Comparison is the thief of joy. Don't worry about what other people are doing or where they are. Instead, focus on where you are and enjoy it. Can you imagine what our world would be like if our biggest heroes compared themselves to one another? If Jade King compared herself to Leah Willersdorf? If Mark Kay compared himself to Ed V? Their uniqueness and ability to be the best versions of themselves has shown many of us that it's okay to learn things on your own and do what works best for you. That arbitrations in a foreign country can be really cool. That there isn't only one way to write faster. And furthermore, that court reporters can be total badasses, getting stung by a swarm of Indian bees, with pest control trying to contain them, while still capturing a verbatim record. Shout out to my hero, Jade King. Number 8, forgive yourself. Everyone listening has messed up before. I know this because we are all human. Messing up and carrying around the thought of, I always mess up, I'm not surprised. It's not acceptable. Feeling guilty about messing up and constantly beating yourself up is really unhealthy as well. Forgive yourself. Do this exercise with me. Close your eyes. Think of something that you feel bad about. Now think about this. Is holding on to this thing helping you or hurting you? While holding on to this, are you allowing any room for things that make you feel good? Is this preventing you from enjoying your life? If your answer was that this is hurting you, stop right there. Let it go. Let today be the day you finally release yourself from this imprisonment of guilt. It is not serving you. Okay, you can open your eyes now. Now that I've given you my secret sauce to help you get back to where you were when you were younger
carefree and fearless with a great mindset, I want to give you a few challenges.
Number 1, get crystal clear on your goals. If you know in 10 years that you don't want to be working for the same soul-sucking company, then you have to do something about it. You have to take steps to make sure that that doesn't happen. And that starts with visualizing. Visualize where you want to be, creating small goals to help you get there. Maybe it's putting in your name with a few firms. Maybe it's getting higher certification. Maybe it's making a list of your wants and desires and your next employer. Believe me, we can have those too. That's what helps us determine where we are the happiest, by determining what makes us happy. Whatever your goal may be, create a goal map to get there. I call it a goal map, a guide map. Write down 3 things today that can bring you closer to your goals, and don't stop taking action until you've reached your goal. Number 2, believe that it is possible for you. How many of you remember Bethany Hamilton? For those of you who may not remember, she was a 13-year-old surfing prodigy. She's now older than 13, but at the time she was 13 and she was on her way to becoming a professional surfer when in 2003 her dreams seemed so far from possible when she had her arm bitten off by a shark. It was just a normal day for her surfing 20-foot waves when that happened. And after that accident, most people thought that Bethany would hang up her surfboard forever, but she didn't. She was so determined, and just 10 weeks after that accident, she was back in the water. She placed in competitions, she even won a few, but what she didn't do was give up on her dream of becoming a professional surfer. She never saw losing her arm as a disability. She always saw it as an opportunity to become better, and she did become a pro surfer. So what I encourage you to do today is whatever is standing in your way, forget about it, okay? Forget about it. Go after your goals just like Bethany. It is possible. Number 3, decide that if you desire it, that it is yours. Believe it or not, your mind dictates your daily life. Your thoughts dictate your daily life. If you don't believe that you deserve higher pay, if you don't believe that you deserve a better job, then you're going to keep on doing the same mediocre things, and that's not going to get you to where you want to be. Number 4, imagine that you already have it. When I was in school, I was having a really hard time with my mindset, as I talked to you guys about earlier. One of the things that I did was hypnosis, and a part of that hypnosis included, believe it or not, imagining writing CSR behind my name. I would lay there, I would do the hypnosis, and I would imagine those 3 letters behind my name. Doing this helped me envision where I wanted to be. Doing this helped me envision being a working reporter. Doing this helped me envision the clothes I would wear when I was working. Doing this helped me envision the kind of people I would talk to, the attorneys, the judges, the clients, my boss, everybody. Doing this helped me imagine where I wanted to be. If you need help figuring out what that action needs to be, ask yourself this question: how will that action help me move closer to my goal? How will it get me there? If I do this, will I be where I want to be? Number 5, take action to get there. Now, manifesting your dream is about more than thinking and visualizing it. It is actually taking action to get there. If you want to be a couch surfer, then you can sit on the couch and watch reruns of Beverly Hills, Housewives, eat Flamin' Hot Cheetos, and that will be your life. But if you want to become something bigger, you have to do better. You have to do more. You have to make that call. You have to schedule that meeting. But whatever you do, you have to take action to get to where you want to be. Number 6, practice daily gratitude for things big and small. Thank the universe for what you have and what you've yet to receive, because by practicing daily gratitude, you are creating abundance. I use this to write in my daily gratitude, and I write 3 things a day. So I am encouraging you to write down 3 things that you are grateful for. Practice that daily gratitude. Maybe it's a vacation, maybe it's a new house, maybe it's not anything like that. Maybe it's just the ability to wake up and have air in your lungs and just another day. That is a huge blessing. Number 7, celebrate wins, big and small. You know, sometimes it takes us days, weeks, months, years to reach our goal, and the end goal can seem so far away. But by celebrating these small wins, it gives us that adrenaline, that energy to keep going, to keep pushing towards what it is that we want. So I encourage you to celebrate these small victories. Don't forget about it. Number 8, get out of your own way. Believe it or not, when I was in my 160s, I was really stressed out about what I would do if I got certified. What if they asked me to read back? What if they wanted real time? What if they wanted a rough or sent me out on a job that I was really scared of? I focused so much and put so much worry into what ifs. My attention was completely taken up by stuff that shouldn't have even mattered, stuff that I wasn't even ready for, stuff that was in the future. All of these questions in my head were actually holding me back from the here and now and what was in front of me. I was so scared to get out of my comfort zone because what if I got certified? Can you believe that? I'll never forget being so stressed out at the time that I was about to give up. I was always a cheerleader for others, but at this time I really needed a cheerleader myself. And one of my classmates saw that I was really, really stressed out, and she pulled me to the side and she started talking to me, and she said, there aren't many people that can do this and you've come so far. And in that moment, I found clarity. Whatever she said to me made me think that I just needed to be focused on what was going on currently, and that all of the external thoughts, about the future were not serving me, and that how was I going to be successful if I couldn't drop those things in my head. And I want to encourage you from my situation. I did get over it, and I ended up passing my test, as I told you earlier, but had I let those limiting beliefs stay around for much longer, I don't know where I would be today. So I want to encourage you today to stop limiting yourself, stop getting in your way, stop focusing on what ifs and the future, and don't let your thoughts dictate your future happiness, your future success, okay? Now I'm gonna log off for now, and when I get done, make sure that you watch the video after the short little video. But first, I want to encourage you to follow your heart's desires. Go back to that time in your life where you told your second grade teacher that your mom told you that you could be whatever you wanted to be. You remember how good that felt? That was an amazing feeling. Don't deny yourself the life of your dreams. Don't deny yourself because you're scared what people are going to think about it, because you think it's too much of a risk. Bloom where you're planted. Shine everywhere. Sadly, we can't wait around for the perfect job, and honestly, it's not going to fall into our laps. I can bet you that in order to get to the life of your dreams, in order to get to your dream job where I am at right now, myself, you're going to face many, many obstacles. You're going to be told many times, but never give up just because you've been denied okay? Trust me, it gets better. You grow when you are turned down. You grow when somebody doesn't have respect for you, when you don't, when your expectations are not met, when you're not at your dream job yet. Now, I want you to take a second and thank 2018 for all the lessons learned and the growth. And I want you to welcome the happiness, the abundance, the bigger goals, the amazing opportunities, the money, the positive vibes, and just being more focused than you ever have before in 2019. This is your year, and I am here to cheer you on. This is gonna be your best year yet, but it's up to you to go out there and make sure that that happens. Now, I want to end this by reading something, and I want you to follow along and repeat after me, okay? I will remain focused on my goals. Even if I have a moment of difficulty, I will not give up. I know success comes with consistency. I know that I will make it. Things will get better. No problem or challenge will stop me. Everything I deserve is coming my way. Know that you are worth it. Know that you are deserving. And when you're at the top, remind yourself to enjoy the journey. There will no doubt be hard times, but let yourself start before psyching yourself out, and you will be amazed at how beautiful the ride is. Thank you so much for watching.
Hey Court,
Hey kids,
how does it feel?
I feel like I'm alive again.
How long has it been since you rode on your machine?
It has been
About.
3, maybe 4 months.
Do you feel reunited with your baby?
I do.